hair has been shampooed with a dry shampoo. The main damage of this hair is from the mid-lengths and ends. So I'm going to focus the treatment that we're putting on today on the mid-lengths and ends. I could either start at the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top. It makes no difference. So whatever suits the operator. I'm going to do it in quarters, but I could have done it in halves. So I'm going to do the two back sections first because that's predominantly where the damage is, and then I'm going to focus on the two front sections. So the conditioning mask is here in the bowl, so that's ready to go. And I'm using a bowl and brush. I'm using a trolley that's going to support whilst I'm working around the head. So for the purpose of demoing, I'm going to start at the top. So I'm going to take about a 2 centimetre section, just using the ends of the tinting brush. I'm going to hold the hair out and start applying on the most important areas where the damage is on the hair. So I'm just going down, just using stroking movements, applying that, and then just using a nice stroking movement just to make sure that it's been well applied and it's well coated on both sides, front and back. Wake and flicking over, just make sure it doesn't go into the client's eyes, and then on to the next one. There was a 2 centimetre section. Applying the products from about the mid-lengths. So this is the hair treatment mask that's going to penetrate into the hair shaft. It's going to lubricate the hair, and on a course of treatments would improve the overall appearance of the hair, make the hair look shinier, feel smoother, look more bouncier.
Andrea, you mentioned a course of treatments. How many applications would you expect there to be during the course?
Is it okay? Depending on the severity of the hair damage will determine how many treatments and how frequent. But once a week is probably average, and between 4 to 6 weeks longer if needed if the hair was really damaged. And there's no reason why somebody couldn't do this themselves at home. You can buy lots of hair masks and do this once a week themselves at home. Once the product is on, I'm going to use heat to help the product penetrate into the hair shaft itself. And if you were at home, the heat could come from the steam from your bath or your shower. You'd get your heat there, so you could apply it whilst you're in the shower, leave it on there. Generally, they need to be left on between 10 and 20 minutes, again, following the manufacturer's instructions, and depending on the severity of damage would be how frequently you would do it, how long you would do it for, but also the length of processing time.
And would this type of treatment be applied to all forms of hair? And as this, your client here has straight hair, would it also work with curly hair, etc.?
Okay. This would work on hair types 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3. Type 4 hair type, they might use a slightly different product suitable for coiled hair. So they tend to have slightly different products. But the process is exactly the same.
Right. Sorry, type 4 hair?
Which is coiled, very coiled curly hair.
Right.
So I'm just working methodically through, making sure it's well saturated within the area of damage. Working methodically through, making sure that all of the hair is well coated. I'm using apron and gloves, which is my PPE, because prolonged contact with any of these products is aggravating for the skin. And 2 or more hours of wet work a day, which obviously is what we do here in the salon, would help prevent contact dermatitis.
Right.
Hence why, even though it's a moisturising product and perhaps not seen as a damaging chemical, it's still aggravating to the skin with prolonged contact.
Right, so it's essential to wear gloves.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If you're only doing it once yourself a week, then that's fine not to wear gloves. But for the people that work in the salon, because of the amount of wet work we do in a day, which is more equates to more than 2 hours, that's where the recommendation is. So the employer would supply the operator with those personal protective equipment, which is my apron, because that's protecting my clothing from any spills, and then the gloves to maintain good, healthy hands. This is a nice treatment to have with the clients, relaxing. I'm just going to do his final section. Trying to put an even amount from root, or mid-length in this case, to tip. A nice even amount and spreading it through.
Strikes me that this is quite a time-consuming treatment. How long would a professional stylist allow for this?
10 minutes for an application.
Yeah.
And then the process in between, generally, as a guide, we'd follow the manufacturing instructions, but between 10 and 20 minutes for the for it to process. And I'm going to use some added heat. So we've got the climbers on there, which is on the wall, or I could put it under the hood dryer, or she could be in a hot environment, as we said about if you were at home, you could do that in a hot, moist room, ideally. We've also got steamers. You could use a steamer for this if you've got a steamer. Or just retaining body heat. You could also put a plastic cap on and put a towel on the top, and that would retain body heat. That's another source of heat that you could use if you're at home doing this treatment.
Thank you, Andrew.